Good morning, everyone. It's the last full day. Very sad. I let myself stay in bed for a long time. It is now 11:30. I've been awake for a while, but I tried to go back to sleep at 9:30-ish because I have my alarm set for 11. But I couldn't fall back asleep. I just listened to my audiobook for a while. And then I looked at social media on my phone, just like took a lazy morning. I needed it, especially after staying up till past 2 last night. And drinking twice yesterday. But it was fun. Today I kind of feel a little bit scratchy. Maybe it's just like overtired from, I don't even know, but I hope I didn't come down with something. I have an appointment to ride the Bolt again at 12, but your spot's available until 12:30. I'm gonna grab coffee first. Probably not something to eat. And then today's kind of like, I put some things on my schedule, but they're all very loose. I don't feel the need to do a lot of them. So today, I'm just gonna wing it and see how I feel and maybe take it a little bit more easy and lazy. Because last night was a lot. I did a lot of things back to back last night, which was fun, but it wore me out. Oh, and I finally cleared space on my phone. It finally worked. While I was sleeping, it was working on uploading it. So I don't have to worry about that yet again. Anyway, if you are new here, welcome. Go check out my other videos as well to see what I've been up to on this trip. This is my last day of the cruise. I'm on the Mardi Gras and we're gonna take it easy. I'm gonna give you a ship tour at some point today. Not sure when. I need coffee, so I'm gonna go get coffee. And my throat hurts a little bit. Ugh. Oh well, soon I'll be home and I'm planning on getting a lot of work done tomorrow at the airport because I decide to just give in to that, and I scheduled my transport with the cruise because it's only $40 and Lyft was gonna be over 100. So I'm just gonna be at the airport for 9 hours. So I'm gonna have a lot of time to kill tomorrow. So I'm planning on getting a lot of work done tomorrow, so then I will feel like I can just take Sunday off. That's my plan. I will talk to you all later. So they're having technical issues with the coaster again. So they told me to come back at 1. I would do the tour now, but I don't have my mic. Alright, so I came back to my room after I ate Guy's Burgers. I almost said Bob's Burgers. And he already did my room, which I wasn't sure he would have gotten to it because I was only gone about an hour. But he left this note. It's cute. Very cute. My throat hurts really bad. I don't feel that good. I feel kind of hot, but it might be because I ate in the sun. The Bolt was down, so they told me to come back after 1, and that if I just tell them what my appointment time was, they will fulfill that. So instead I went and got lunch at Guy's Burgers, which was really good. Really good. But I ate so fast it made my tummy not feel good. I feel like really full, just like all of a sudden. So, on top of my sinuses and my throat, now my tummy doesn't feel good. I just ate too fast because it was my first meal of the day and it tasted really good and it was falling apart. So I was like, I gotta get it in my mouth before it falls apart on me. So now I don't know. I might just hang out in my room, lounge around, because that sounds the best to me. I might go out on the balcony. Oh, it's beautiful. It is beautiful. Not sure. My bed looks nice. Sorry, this might not be the most exciting cruise vlog today. What are they doing? I think it's my neighbors moving furniture on the balcony. It's just been a long trip. I've been gone for 2 weeks. And I think it's getting to me. Plus, I have been around a lot of germs, probably. So, I wouldn't be surprised if I pick something up. I don't feel like doing anything right now. I just want to lounge around. Is that okay? Is that okay? Am I allowed? Am I allowed to relax on my cruise? I'm so ridiculous. I always feel guilty. I am allowed to do nothing. Maybe I'll watch a movie. There were some I was interested in on their free selection, so. And their paid selection isn't even that much. It's only, like, I don't know, $5, $6, or $7, something like that. Royal Caribbean's was $20. I'm pretty sure. I know that me and Kelsey were shocked. So, and they didn't have that much selection either. But the ones they did have were pricey. Yeah, so the TV is better on Carnival. Like I said, there's pros and cons to both. So just use a travel agent and ask them a bunch of questions and then figure out what would be the most important things for you to enjoy. That's how you can figure out which cruise line. I'll talk to you later. I've had a very lazy day and I feel guilty. Like I should enjoy my cruise while I can, but at the same time, like, this is what I want to do. So, what do you mean enjoy it? You are. I don't know why. I feel guilty, like I should be doing certain things, but I'm tired. I'm very tired and I don't feel good at all physically. I think I am coming down with something because my throat feels pretty on fire and I feel like really cold. But then I feel like the hint of like warmth up in my face area. So I feel like kind of flushed a little bit. So that kind of could be a sign of a fever coming on. And my nose is really drippy and I keep sneezing. It's only 4. I'm thinking I might not ride the Bolt after all because they refunded me for it. And I want to ride it again, but at the same time, I just don't feel good. But I also saw really good desserts at the coffee shop earlier that I kind of wanted to see if I could try one, but full disclosure, I'm also feeling like really weepy and I don't know why. Like it keeps coming on really all of a sudden, and every little thing that I'm struggling with, because I'm struggling with technology a lot. The internet has been really giving me a hard time because I was trying to do my puzzles on my app, but I need the internet for it to load. Sometimes it works without, but other times it doesn't. I was struggling with that, and then I felt like crying. Like, it just, the littlest thing is setting me off. Maybe I am starting to get homesick, but at the same time, I also don't want my trip to be over because this is what I've been looking forward to for, several months, and working towards. But when it is over, then I'll start working towards another trip. So it's like, that'll be exciting to start working towards another thing. At the same time, there were a lot of things that I was hoping to do that I didn't do. That's what happens every trip. But like Kennedy Space Center and staying another night and a lot of food I didn't try at Disney, and I didn't do the party. There are a lot of things that were canceled on me that were completely out of my control. And then partying with my boss for 80s night. I had to party alone because she's sick. Yeah, so there's just like, I had a great time with what I did do. I'm happy with what I did. But there's always that kind of let down feeling when your trip is coming to a close and you're running out of time and you're like, well, dang. It's okay. There'll be other times. I also feel like 2 weeks is probably the max that I could go on a solo trip, and it's pushing it, I think, because I'm still enjoying myself and I'm still enjoying my own company, but I am an extrovert, but I'm also have social anxiety, so I'm not going to just talk to a bunch of strangers. I'm really like starved for connection, and so I think that's also partly why I'm weepy, and I also miss my cat, and he's getting old, so that makes me feel guilty because I don't know how much time I have with him. He seems to be still super youthful, but I have to remind myself that he is almost 17 years old. I also might just be randomly hormonal, and then I also don't feel good at all. My throat hurts. So I'm trying to let myself off the hook, but I feel bad because I wanted to give you guys a lot of good content. Last night I really wanted to film more of the Voodoo Moon show, but I was having trouble with my phone storage and my phone battery at the same time during that show. So I could only record like very little clips of it, but it was so cool. I'm sorry. If you want to see more of it, you should come on the Mardi Gras. I'm ready to book for you. Let yourself relax and do nothing, or do all the things that are available on the cruise. You can do either or both. A good mix of them, which I did. I mean, if I was never going to be in my stateroom, then I could have just gone with an inside cabin. Anyway, I'm going to talk to you all later. So I got the s'mores cupcake. I hope it wasn't a mistake. Hey everyone. So I went out for about an hour. I ate that s'mores cupcake, which was really good, but wasn't the best on my throat. But I felt like I was lacking in desserts. And while I was out, I decided to do another thing I've been wanting to do is take pictures of each different thing on each deck. I started on 6, went to 7, and went to 8. Those are the 3 main decks inside. And then I was starting to feel really wiped out. And the ship is moving really fast again. So I think like the last day the ship usually goes way faster because it's trying to get back in time. Yeah, so we're pretty rocky right now. We haven't been that rocky this whole trip until yesterday. I started to feel it a lot in the evening, and then today it feels even more rocky. But I don't feel nauseous or anything because I've been taking my Dramamine, so I think that works for me. Different things work for different people. There's Dramamine you can take. I take a less drowsy version, and you just take it once a day, and I don't know, it's been working. I feel slightly dizzy, but not too dizzy and not nauseous dizzy. But there's also like these wristbands you can put that are supposed to help if you wear them. I think there are things you put behind your ear. I've seen a lot of people with those. Yeah, you just have to figure out what works for you. But there are different ways to prevent that if that's something you're worried about. But some itineraries are worse than others. For instance, I've always heard that going to Hawaii is really, really rocky. So keep that in mind. It looks pretty rough out there right now because we're going fast. I think I'm gonna let myself take a nap for an hour, maybe slightly less than an hour. And then I think I'm gonna go do the ship tour. I think that's my plan. And then I'll eat dinner after that. And then I'll pack. Yeah, I don't know. But I need to let myself rest. Because I also realized, like, tomorrow, I really don't want to wake up feeling worse than I do today. Because it's a travel day. So I have to travel like that. So it's kind of a good thing I'm letting myself have a more down day. Anyway, I'm gonna take a nap. Alright, I'm gonna start the tour. There are technically 19 decks, but we're not gonna go to the 19th. We're on the 18th deck, and the 18th deck is split. There are only a couple elevators that go to the 18th floor, so you have to take the specific ones or walk. The layout of the ship is a little bit tricky. So this side of 18 is the ultimate playground, which has all the fun activities. Also has the running track, billiards tables, and foosball, and the sports deck, which has basketball. Up here is the ropes course, which I never did because I am too much of a wimp. It has a bunch of day beds, the Bolt roller coaster, which you got the seat on it, and then it's the water park area, which has, I believe, 3 slides. It has the yellow, orange, and blue. And it has a splash area. And you can try out the seats before you ride the coaster. But for the slides, you have to have a mat for the blue one. And the other two, you have to lay with your legs crossed. And then here's the mini golf. The splash area is really fun, especially for little kids. Oh, that's really pretty. Okay. Yeah, the ropes course goes across a lot. And it has zipline portions. You have to go down to the 17th deck, which has swirls, which is a serve your own soft serve ice cream station. And then there's where Guy's Burgers is. And then here is the main pool bar. It has an upper and lower floor. So then you have to go back up to get to the other portion of the 18th deck, which has a great view of the movie. And there's plenty of chairs. Plenty of chairs. And then this is where you go to Serenity, the adult only area. There's a hot tub over there, but I'm not going to show it because there's a lot of people in it. Plenty of lounge chairs. And that's where the Serenity pool is. And then the bar. See, this is what I mean. This is all part of Serenity. It's really nice. And it's at the front of the ship. So it's beautiful views all around. And then up there is I think it's private for like the suites. A bunch of Davids, more Davids. See, this ship is bigger and more crowded, but also feels less crowded for some reason. And then there's another hot tub on this side. I don't want to show too much because there's a bunch of people in it. And the beds that are in Serenity are nicer than the chairs that are not. They're more cushiony, but there's a lot of them, so chances are you'll get a seat. All right, and then so the 16th has the main pool and the seafood shack, tan fries, a bunch of different food places, and the hot tub and pool. Blue Iguana, which is the Mexican place. I never tried it. Now here's the Lido Marketplace, which is the buffet. It's a really nice area. I just wish I liked their selection better. It smells good tonight. We'll have pasta tonight. Maybe the selection's better tonight. Here's Big Chicken. It is also included. Most of what I showed you food-wise is included. And then there's 2 hot tubs and a pool. I'm not going to show it because there's a lot of people in it right now, but it's an infinity pool. And then there's, as you can see, a lot of chairs out here. And then this is the Tides Bar. And there's another self-serve frozen yogurt and soft serve ice cream area. We're gonna go down to 8, I think, because there's only staterooms until 8. All right, so now we're on 8. And if you go towards the back of the ship, there's Summer's Landing, which has a bunch of different things. It has the liquor and tobacco shop. It has the sports area called Heroes, another froyo and soft serve ice cream area, foosball and gaming tables, and it has the Pig and Anchor restaurant, which is like a quick service restaurant, but you do get served, so it's a little bit of a combination. Here is the patio. It has another pool. I'm not going to show too much because there are people in it. It's another infinity pool off the back of the ship. There's a bunch of seating. And then over on this side, there are 2 hot tubs, which I'm not going to show too much of. No one's in this hot tub. And then let's go back inside. Then there are a lot of people in here, so let's move on This restaurant serves like barbecue style. I ate it at it. The sausage was actually pretty good, even though I'm not a barbecue type person. Then right outside of this is guest services, which is a long line of people. So I'm not going to show them, but there's Carnival Adventures, which is where you can sign up for short excursions. And also they have some Carnival merch in there. Here is the Sea Grill, which is an upcharge restaurant. There's a panini place, the sandwich place, and that is included. Here's the pizza place, and that's also included. And they are open until 4 a.m. usually. And then here's Bar Della Rosa. There's another bar, and they have another one outside. And then here's the Italian restaurant that is free the first time and then $8 after that. And then we're walking through the picture place right now, which they have a lot of backdrops and stuff to take a picture. And then down there is the theater. Well, the stage, center stage, I think it's what it's called. There are 2 other levels of seating, and we're walking through an area right now called Grand Central. This is the jewelry store and watches. That's the sushi place, which is an upcharge. And then teppanyaki is an upcharge as well. And there are many different staircases that you can take to get to another level. Photo studio. And then this is Havana Bar. And that's a pretty big, spacious bar. I think it's probably the biggest bar. And then here's Shebang, which I never tried. It is free the first time and then $8 after that. Okay, so we're gonna walk down the stairs. Here are the Havana staterooms and suites. We're gonna walk down to the 7th floor. This is the casino, which I can't film in, but there are 2 sides. There's the smoking side and the non-smoking side. And then over here's the theater. And I'm gonna have to turn off the camera for a minute while I walk through the casino. But the theater is also on this side. And then, so that's the theater. And then the non-smoking side of the casino is over here. So I passed through the casino. There's this long light lounge, which a lot of the trivia is at. You know what? I'm gonna move around. More seating for the theater. And there's also the Grand Food Bar over there. Shopping, Carnival Store, Island Traders, Destination Shirts, the Alchemy Bar, and here's the other entrance to the Limelight Lounge. So it goes through, and sometimes both entrances are open and sometimes only one is. And here's just a random sitting area. So as you can see, there's plenty of seating on the ship. Here's a beautiful living area. And then the art gallery. This is the Fahrenheit Steakhouse. The main dining room, which is super crowded right now because it's dinner time. But the main dining room is 2 levels. So it is on the 7th and 6th, I believe. And it depends on which dining you have. It is 8:30. I came back to the room because it was just too crowded on the 6th floor. So I'm going to have to go finish the tour now. I was almost done. The 6th floor is the last floor I was going to show you all. But I came back to my room, took a shower, but I'm struggling again with fitting everything. Because now I also have the cooler that they gave me. And I don't know how I'm going to shove that in there. Pack light. I'm struggling, so I'm going to take a break and I'm going to go finish the tour, and grab a sandwich for dinner. And then I most likely won't go back out tonight. I'm gonna bring the sandwich back to my room. I'm trying to think, I might want dessert later, but other than that, I most likely won't go out tonight, and I might not. We'll see. All right, so this is where we pause. So there's the 6-deck Mardi Gras restaurant. This is the Carnival kitchen, which you can do cooking classes. And then this is the French Quarter area, which has emeralds. This is where I got the rolls. They are an upcharge. So this is the fortune teller bar. Here's more shops. And then here's the stage, ground floor, Java, Fruit Cafe. And then this is the piano bar. And then this is the Punchline and Comedy Club. And then this is cherry on top, where you can buy candy. And then this is the Brass Magnolia. And then this is the Flamingo restaurant, which there was tea at. There is the Cloud9 Spa Salon, thermal suite. And there's staterooms in the medical center in Cambodia. And the chef's table. So basically that's all that's left. On the other decks, that is the tour. My room was midship in the odd numbers on deck 5, right there, which is really nice. Now I'm gonna go get food. Okay, I forgot to say that I was interrupted because I ran into my boss. She's still feeling pretty sick, but it was nice to see her one more time. But I brought back a Reuben to my room, and I'm gonna eat it while I watch a movie, and then I'm gonna finish packing. Okay, so I need to finish packing, but I'm gonna end the day here because I don't see myself doing anything else really except for packing and finishing the movie and going to bed. Today I didn't do much. I apologize for that, but at least you got a full Mardi Gras cruise ship tour. Don't forget that I'm a travel agent and I can book you a cruise or another type of vacation. I can even book you on the Mardi Gras if you're interested in this specific ship. Yeah, I'm going to do an actual wrap up later. But I do want to say that their parties are excellent. Their parties are great and they're hopping. Way more hopping than the Royal Caribbean parties that we went to on the Navigator of the Seas. But there were some things that I liked better on Navigator of the Seas than on Mardi Gras. So it all depends on what's important to you and what you like. So that's why you need a travel agent. And why would you not book with a travel agent? I charge absolutely nothing for my services. So you get special advice and a friend helping you along the way of planning your vacation for absolutely free. I will vlog a little bit tomorrow, but it's probably not going to be that much. And then I don't know when my next trip is at the moment. I have some ideas of when my next trip is going to be, but none of them are set yet. I definitely have a cold. I definitely have a cold. I have a head cold because my sinus is all up here. My throat is so scratchy and my sinuses are that. At least I didn't get it until the last day. But tomorrow's gonna be hard. I'm not sure when my next trip is gonna be, but I will definitely be putting out vlogs of some sort sometime soon. And I have a bunch of trips planned for next year. They're not booked yet, but I do have a bunch of trips planned. Be sure to hit that subscribe so that you don't miss any of my travel content or other content. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and I will talk to you all later. Good morning. So I forgot to vlog before I left my stateroom. I was gonna, but it was too hectic because I left right at 8:30, which is when you need to be out of your cabin by. I gave up. I'm going to check one bag. So I repacked everything. Well, not everything. I didn't have to repack my suitcase, but I repacked my backpack and then put some stuff in my park bag. I'm waiting on the transport to the airport. It's 10:30 now. My ticket was for 9:30, but it's an ongoing shuttle. So I started to panic in line because I knew it was gonna take longer than 9:30. But I asked someone and she reassured me that it was ongoing. So because the birth certificate line took over an hour for debarkation, so that was a bit long. That was longer than the Royal Caribbean port in LA. That one was pretty breezy. Just keep that in mind that this port, the embarkation and debarkation take longer. I didn't check my luggage. I had to deal with my luggage on my own. And that was not really a problem. I got coffee on deck 6 and then went up to deck 8 to wait. But now I realize I probably didn't need to wait since I was doing my own luggage. I probably could have just left. But oh well. So keep that in mind. But I couldn't hear the guy over the speaker very well, so it was a bit hard to understand what he was saying with the different groups that they were letting off. Yeah, always ask somebody if you're not sure. Today my throat hurts, so it's gonna be fun. I slept okay, except I kept waking up after 5. I kept waking up. Every time I woke up, I felt really miserable. And so then I had a hard time going back to sleep. I definitely have a cold. So we'll see how long I wait before we leave. My flight isn't until 8 p.m., so I'm in no rush. It's fine that we're waiting here. I guess I'll update you all later. So it took about 3.5 hours total from when I started to leave the ship. Okay, so I got Moe's. I'm in the food court area. There are a bunch of options.
The Gatling is now arriving. Next stop, gates 30 through 59. The doors are now closing. Orlando
Look at that broken plane. No, that's a Disneyland plane. It's Star Wars. Disneyland plane.
Please stand clear of doors and hold on to handrails.
I got Wendy's for dinner. I got a combo with rice and my burger and
Yeah.
Hey everyone! It's 3 days later. I'm sorry I didn't finish it the day of, but I was just too exhausted. I also didn't vlog that much at the airport, but once again, I was too exhausted. I had come down with a cold. I still have the cold, but it is definitely moving. Like every day, it's a little bit different. So it's been constantly moving. It will probably be gone soon. So at the airport, I did a couple hours of work before going through security. And then I checked my bag, which I could only do exactly 4 hours before my flight was due to leave. So not boarding time, but 4 hours before your flight leaves. So I had to wait before I could check my bag, before I could go through security. But then I went through security and it was really fast, really easy. I don't know what it is about Orlando Airport now, but it is so smooth every time I go through there. And then whenever I try to go on a trip going from Seattle, it's like, so stressful and hectic, and you have to take so many things out of your bag, and like I think that the Seattle airport needs to make some adjustments because Orlando is a bigger airport and they have it together. You don't have to take much out of your bag at all. You don't even have to take your sweatshirt off. I mean, he let me keep my sweatshirt on. The Seattle airport, they made me take my sweatshirt off, even though I go through an X-ray and everything. Like, it just seems ridiculous. I took everything out of my pockets. I want to be warm, okay? I don't want to have to take my sweatshirt off. There's one open pocket. Anyway, I think that's ridiculous. So I applaud Orlando for making it so easy to get through. It only took me like 3 minutes tops to get from the checkpoint for my spot saver through security, through the conveyor belt and the scan and everything. 3 minutes. It was so fast. It was so easy. It was not stressful. It was not anxiety provoking. It was nice. So then I was happy after that, and I was planning on getting more work done in the airport. But by then, my cold had really started to hit me up here. And you know, when you have a cold, it kind of makes you like so out of it and just exhausted that you don't really have brain power left. So that's what happened to me. So I gave up on work. I couldn't get work done. So I just listened to my audiobook and did a puzzle on my phone and just hung around. I had lunch. I showed you lunch. I think I showed you dinner too. So I had lunch and dinner in the airport. I had lunch at the food court before security, and then I had dinner at the food court area that was near my gate past security. And then I went on the plane. The plane was actually really nice. I was in premium both flights this trip, which I've never sat in premium before. I've sat in first class last year for the first time, and that was amazing. But this trip, I decided to treat myself. I decided to treat myself to premium because it wasn't that much more to see what that was like. And for the red eye, it wasn't actually that great because I don't know if it was the plane. The premium on that plane wasn't that good. It wasn't that spacious. And that flight was full. It didn't help me get more sleep. I was squished next to a person just like I would be in economy. But then on the flight going home, those seats were definitely a little bit more cushiony, and I could definitely feel the leg room more. I feel like that plane was a little bit newer, possibly, than the other plane I had taken. But the other thing that helped on that flight was that I didn't have anyone directly sitting next to me. I had someone sharing the row with me. They were sitting on the aisle seat, but we had no one in the middle of us. So I had a lot of room for that flight, and it was really nice. And I just watched 2 movies. I watched a very serious drama, and then I watched a really good comedy, actually, that I really liked. I don't remember the names of either of them, but I was surprised. I liked both movies, although the serious drama did have a very upsetting scene in it, so that kind of threw me, and I felt weird about whether the person who shared my row had looked over and seen it as well and got upset. It was awkward. But how was I supposed to know that that was going to happen? You know, you don't know. If you're seeing a movie for the first time, you don't know. And most movies don't really have trigger warnings. That's more like they have the rating, you know, which could, I guess, be like a trigger warning. But yeah, I don't know. The flight was delayed a little bit. That's the other thing I forgot to talk about. It was delayed a little bit. Only like half an hour. No, it was less than half an hour. It was like 20 minutes. 20-minute delay. So it wasn't too bad. And we made up time. We got back earlier than we were supposed to, I think. But you get free alcohol on premium. But both times I could not have it because the first flight I had taken a sleep aid. And then the second flight I had a cold. So I did not want to drink alcohol. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up my trip. My trip was great. I had lots of fun. I did have lots of disappointment. But so it goes on a trip. You can't plan for everything. The party was canceled. My Kennedy Space Center excursion was canceled. I got sick. And the food on Carnival was disappointing. There are quite a lot of disappointments, but that's okay. I made the best of it anyway. My highlights. I really liked my last Disney day. That was really fun. That might have been my favorite day, even though it was really exhausting. I really liked my last Disney day. I also really liked my room on the cruise. It was really nice, and my balcony was really nice. I had a lot of fun at the parties, even though I was by myself, which I was worried about. The cruise was what I was most worried about, being by myself, because, they could be more social than at Disney World. At Disney World, you're not expected to, mingle or whatever. On a cruise, it's a little bit more of a social environment. So I was a little bit anxious about that. I didn't really talk to many people, but there are a few people on the cruise that I did talk to. There was a couple I talked to at dinner, and I talked to them twice. They were there both times I went for dinner in the main dining room. And I met someone who lived in Portland, which is close to Seattle. And I talked to another pair of friends. They were at the brunch. They were not very happy with the brunch. I only talked to them briefly. And then there were a few people on the excursion that I talked to. So I did make small talk and mingle a little bit. Oh, and the Swifties that, the Swiftie and her friend, because her friend wasn't really a Swiftie. But the Swiftie and her friend who asked me to sit with them. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like I might have talked to a few other people. Besides, my boss and the other agent. I did get out there. I did push myself to not just sit in my room the whole time. But I did have to take a day in my room the last day because of my cold. But I think I did a pretty good job. I did a pretty good job for my first solo cruise. And what was my favorite food? I think my favorite meal was the French restaurant at Disney. I think that was my favorite meal. That soup was really good. That soup is better than the soup on Carnival, although that one was pretty good. You all know what my favorite ride is, but I also love so many other rides, and Everest is still really high up there because the Everest theming is just so good, and it's still so thrilling, and the combination of the theming and the thrill, it's just, I love it. I wish I could have ridden it one more time before I left, but oh well. I had a really good trip. I did, even though there were some disappointments. So thank you so much for watching this series. I'm very excited to vlog the next one, whatever the next one is. I'm not sure yet, but by the time you see this video, you might already know. Yeah, you're in the future. Be sure to like, comment, and definitely subscribe so that you can see more travel content or other content. I don't know what else to say. I appreciate you all so much, and I will talk to you all in the next one, whenever the next one is. Talk to y'all later. Bye!